What does optimal development look like? Physical health. Take your child to all their well checkup appointments. Keep an eye on their development for things such as height, weight, and head circumference. This gives your pediatrician information on whether or not your child is progressing normally. It doesn't have any dramatic changes in percentiles. Healthy children can vary in size but should remain in the same percentile as they grow. Small changes are okay, but dramatic ones can be worrisome and can be a sign of poor nutrition, neglect, disability, or other health concerns. Sleep. Throughout childhood, regular and ample sleep correlates with normal brain growth, learning, emotional regulation, academic success, psychological development. Sleep changes as we age, but newborns should get about 17 to 15 hours of sleep a day. 1-month-olds should get about 18 hours of sleep a day. 6-month-olds should get about 13 hours of sleep a day. And adults, we only need 8 hours of sleep a day. Stimulation. Infants need stimulation of sights, sounds, emotional expression, social interactions, smells, and tastes. Stimulation helps encourage curiosity, which encourages motor movement. They also need stimulation of seeing other people from different ethnical backgrounds, genders, and age groups. This helps them to develop an understanding of more people in the future and helps them succeed in the future. Attachment. Connections are very important to the developing mind because it allows a child to see what a healthy relationship looks like and what an unhealthy relationship looks like. We as humans are very social creatures and rely on connection to build our emotion and our foundation. Our culture also influences our attachments and how we connect with others. Success in establishing and maintaining social relationships is important for a successful development because social relationships are among a person's most fundamental sources of positive functioning and well-being. Ethical behavior. Behavior such as caring for others, values integrity and honesty. The key to having success is being able to follow the rules and being trustworthy and helpful and responsible. These are taught through having rules in the home, for having your children follow them, and being consistent. Teaching them how to be trustworthy by your own actions and how you treat other people. Also being empathetic to them and others. Modeling behavior you want to see and that society accepts. This is taught culturally and through societal norms, what is frowned upon and what is praised. It is important to raise a child up in a diverse culture so they grow up with a better understanding that not all people look and think the same way. Life skills, self-regulation, awareness, reflection on making meaning out of experiences, critical thinking skills, responsible decision-making, and collaboration with others, allowing children to grow and learn from their errors, making messes and learning how to clean them up, how to regulate their emotions and allowing them to work through them instead of telling them to shut them off, allowing them around cultures to develop a more critical thinking mind so that they can think more diversely and with no filter. What are the risk factors for child abuse and neglect? Which demographics are more vulnerable? The risk factors are being young or having caregivers with drug or alcohol issues, with mental health issues, who don't understand children's needs or development, who were abused or neglected as children, young or single parents with many children, low education or low income, who's used spanking or other forms of corporal punishment for discipline, caregivers in the home who are not the biological parent, and the attitudes of accepting and justifying violence or aggression. Which demographics are more vulnerable? The youngest children are the most vulnerable to maltreatment, with 45.6% of children fatalities younger than 1 year old. Growing up in communities with high rates of violence, high rates of poverty, limited education, high unemployment rates, easy access to alcohol and drugs, unsustainable housing, and food insecurity. Growing up with family members who have been in jail, families who are isolated and not connected with other people, families with high conflict and negative communication styles. What are the most effective interventions for stopping or preventing child abuse and neglect? Caregivers who create a safe environment, positive relationship with their children, who practice nurturing parenting skills and provide emotional support, who can meet basic needs, food, shelter, and education and health services, who have college degrees or higher and have steady employment. Families with strong social support networks in stable relationships with people around them, where caregivers are present and interested in the child, where caregivers enforce household rules and engage in child monitoring, with caring adults outside of the family who can serve as role models or mentors. Communities with access to safe and stable housing, where families have access to high-quality preschool, where families have access to nurturing and safe childcare, where families have access to safe and engaging after-school programs and activities, where families have access to mental health services, where families have access to economic and financial help, where adults have to work, opportunities with family friendly policies. What factors should parents focus on in order for their children to develop a secure bond and healthy relationship with caregivers? Attachment. The connection between one person and another is measured by how they respond to each other, and a lifelong beginning at birth and continuing until adulthood. So playing with your child on the floor, or playing with them in the mud, and even though you're going to get dirty, or playing hide and seek with them, or cooking with them and spending time with them, even though you have other things to do. Developmentalists are convinced that attachment is basic to survival of humans, with manifestation dependent on culture, age, and the age of the person. Contact maintaining, proximity seeking, being close to your child and engaging with them to help create a healthy bond with them. That is what is important to create a healthy attachment.